Do like tech reviews, but I just bought this laptop and I paid $1,050 for it, and I still think it's a good laptop at that price point, based off of its aluminum body, premium feel. It's weighty in the hand, but not overly heavy at 4.4 pounds. 15.6-inch display, really good color on it, even if my camera doesn't do it justice. It's matte, so it's not very reflective. So, that's good. The closest laptop I can find for about this price point that is even worth considering is the Acer Aspire E15, which is $600, but this beats that with a GTX 1050 Ti, an i5 7300HQ, which is on parish with the 8250U in the E15, if a little bit worse. But the Acer Aspire is also made of plastic and has about 6 hours of battery life, which you can get up to 8 in this, legitimately 8. And that's if you're and about 6 hours of 1080p video playback. So, for this price, I like this laptop. Keyboard's actually, it's pretty clacky, but it also feels a touch mushy, and it's really weird because initially when I used this I was disappointed, but after about 5 minutes of typing on it, not only was I up to full speed again, but I was also, really enjoying using this keyboard. So it feels a little bit uninviting and kind of awful initially, but once you use it for a couple of minutes, you get used to it and really start liking it. Touchpad, accurate, full Windows gesture support. I believe it's using Microsoft Precision drivers. Very good. Comes with a 90-watt power supply, which is actually insufficient when under full load. This will not throttle due to thermals. The whole laptop in general won't throttle due to thermals. It'll throttle because this 90-watt brick is just not powerful enough. But it uses a slim tip, which means that if you already have another Lenovo ThinkPad or something like that, you can easily just use that thing's charger. And if you have a 135 watt brick lying around, that would solve your performance throttling issues. Under load, this thing gets to about 80 degrees on the CPU, about 70 on the GPU, and stays pretty quiet. That's without any undervolting or replacing the stock thermal paste, so that's pretty dang good. In most games, it'll manage 60 or more FPS. In Overwatch and one of the few reviews I've found online for this thing, you can get over 90. I'm running OCCT now, which is a stress testing utility, so you can see temperatures live. While this thing's whirring up, I'm going to keep talking about this feature, the laptop features. It's really nice. This laptop is really nice because it offers the ability to turn off the display using the brightness setting, which is crazy. I've never seen that before. You can mute, because Lenovo is a productivity company. They're known for their ThinkPads. They've got all these function keys up here, which you can use for a variety of functions. If you prefer to not have them put you into airplane mode when you press the button, and you'd prefer to do function F7 to do that, you can switch that in the BIOS. The BIOS is actually pretty useful on this because you can change system power settings to balanced, as well as disable the dedicated GPU if you really need to make sure you save battery for a long car trip or a lecture where you're not going to have a wall outlet near you. And, even at 8 hours with the GPU and typing in a Word document, this is seriously worthwhile. It's got a nice Wi-Fi card too, which can reach my maximum internet speed at around 7.2 megabytes per second download over Wi-Fi. That's Ethernet speeds on Wi-Fi. It's just crazy fast. Okay, so GPU and CPU temps have reached about where they will stay, which is approximately, if it'll focus, 80 degrees and 68 on the GPU. And that's pretty good. And it's been running for about 2-ish minutes. And this is a full load on both the GPU and CPU, which isn't necessarily fair to the laptop as in general. If I'm very quiet, you can hear how loud the fans are. Which they're not really. And when you're doing lighter tasks like video watching, they won't even spin up at all. It's great. I love this thing's just good for the money. And I believe I already mentioned the price. You can snag this for $700 on a website of BJ's. BJ's is basically a Costco or a Sam's Club or your local equivalent, except it just happens to be in New York, and it might also be in a couple of other states. But you can get the 15-inch IdeaPad for $700. And this is one that Lenovo sold out of at a price point of $1,000. So, you know, this is also really upgradable. It's got 2 SODIMM sockets, one of which is occupied by the, you know, base model 8 gigs of RAM. So you get 8 gigs of RAM. You get an i5 7300HQ, which I already mentioned, the GTX 1050 Ti, which I already mentioned, but also the 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD from Samsung, which is crazy fast. You know, it's just, you get so much for your money, and it beats out pretty much everything else at this price point in both performance and battery life. And it only weighs about 4.4 pounds, which means it's highly portable. You also get a backlit keyboard, which is pretty much an essential on a device where you're going to do a lot of typing. But yeah, so BJ's might also require a subscription to it in order to actually purchase anything, because it's similar. It basically earns its money the same way Costco does. It sells at a slight markup, but makes up the rest in customer monthly payment, monthly renewal fees for their membership. So if you buy like 1 month, I believe it's between like $50 and $100, and you know, this thing is definitely worth $800. And also, you know, you could probably find some other piece of tech or some other things on this website for cheap prices too, and then pick those up and get even more out of the membership than just this awesome laptop. I'm pretty sure that's my whole spiel done. I'll throw a link to the BJ's website in the description. I don't get paid, or they're not sponsoring this or anything. I'm literally just a guy who bought this laptop and thought it would be worthwhile telling people about the good deal that you can get. I'll also throw a link to a better review that's more professionally done by a channel that's a rising star. Really cool guy, goes in depth about, you know, the performance benefits you can get, and you know, I guess I'll just leave it there.